Hello everyone, welcome to my Doom Eternal Ancient Gods review video. This review will be specific to content that is present in the Ancient Gods DLC, parts 1 and 2. I'm reviewing both at the same time. There will be spoilers, as always. So, if you're looking for a review that is spoiler-free, you should look elsewhere. And before we get right to it, I just want to apologize for the massive delay in the review actually coming out. I had recorded this before, but I accidentally deleted the video, and I didn't really have time to re-record it. So it just kept getting postponed, and well, this is where we are today. Excuse me. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. As always, we'll go through the pros and cons. So let's start with the pros. So, the Ancient Gods introduces, I guess I should say, more demons for Doom Guy to kill. So that's always fun. It also introduces a hammer, Sentinel Hammer, I believe it's called, that unfortunately also requires ammo, like the Crucible, the sword. But the ammo is much easier to acquire, making it an all-around better weapon, in my opinion, than the Crucible. As far as lore goes, there's a decent plot twist, but it's the simplest plot twist there is. It's a basic God/devil reversal. So the guy you think is God who created all things is actually technically the devil who betrayed God, and vice versa. And so God is pissed and wants to kill everybody. So, those are the pros. Keep in mind, Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods has the same pros and cons as the base game. That's why the list is so short. So now we get to a section that is unusual, neutral section. This is something that I'm not really quite sure if it's a pro or a con, obviously, hence the name. So part 1 has more demons per horde than the base game. On the other hand, part 2 has fewer demons per horde than the base game. The issue here is that part 1 has more demons per horde, but they're usually weaker. Part 2 has fewer demons per horde, but they're stronger. So on the one hand, you get to kill more demons, on the other, you get a bigger challenge. I'm not really sure which is better. I mean, speaking just as a gamer, I mean, cannon fodder is fun to kill. Every game has it. You just go around mindlessly slaughtering cannon fodder. But it's also nice to be challenged every now and then. So I'm not sure if these are pros and cons or cons, sorry. So they're neutrals, or if you prefer, just observations. Now, now we get to the cons. There are enemies, one enemy specifically, that requires a specific weapon to kill them. It's the Spirit. The Spirit is an enemy that possesses other demons and upgrades them, if you will, gives them higher damage and movement speed. It's insane how fast they get, as you can see. But the fact that it requires the microwave beam, right? It's not just specific weapon and ammo. It's a specific mod of a specific weapon. I mean, I think it's silly. I read that you can also, or rather that they will also die if they just run out of enemies to upgrade. So theoretically you could kill literally every other demon before you kill the spirit, and the spirit will just dissipate into thin air. But obviously that's not really feasible. There are more enemies that require an opening before you can kill them, such as the spirit, who, if it's possessing a demon, can only be killed after you kill the demon, and then the spirit stays for a bit, and that's when you can use the microwave mod. There's the armored baron. The armored baron is just a regular baron, but with armor that regenerates. You shoot the demolition ball fist that it has. The armor breaks apart, explodes, whatever, and then you can damage it, and then you do it again after the armor regenerates. Like, you do it like 2 or 3 times, and eventually it dies. And there's also the Bloodmaker. The Bloodmaker is a maker. I'm not really sure how best to explain it. It's a maker, and it's, you know, red, blood red, hence the name. And it becomes invincible. It is invincible during most attacks, except when it's gearing up to a super attack, and then it and then it becomes vulnerable to a headshot, which kills it instantly if you use the assault rifle. Another issue with the Ancient Gods is what I perceive to be artificial difficulty. So, as some of you may recall, there are these buff totems in the base game. As the name indicates, they buff demons, and you need to find them and destroy them before dealing with the demons. This is literally how the game tells you to deal with them. However, there's a specific fight where there's a blood totem, but sort of dome appears, and you can't really venture outside to destroy it, because the totem is outside the dome, and so you just need to kill all the upgraded demons. It's not particularly difficult, but it is annoying. Because, again, this is artificial difficulty, because the way you're supposed to deal with the totem is you find it, and then you destroy it. However, the game tells you, no, now you can't find it until you kill all these demons, so, you know, just deal with them, don't counter this at all. So it forces you into a situation where you physically can't counter the thing in the way that you're supposed to. And to me, that's artificial difficulty. Continuing with the cons, some of the new enemies are just upgraded or reskinned versions of other enemies. You have, in particular, the Riot Soldier and the Stone Imp. Riot Soldier is just like a regular soldier, but it carries a golden shield. The shield cannot be broken. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. The hammer can immediately break shields. However, the Riot Soldier is an enemy that's introduced with a golden shield that cannot be broken. Do you see the disconnect here? Like, either the hammer is useful, or it's not. I mean, it is useful for other things, of course, but, like you get ammo if you hit demons with it. It also upgrades the effects of the flamethrower thingy and the ice grenade. So the flamethrower disperses armor, while the demons are on fire. If you use the hammer on them, they become stunned and drop more armor. With the freeze grenade, they drop HP, and if you use the hammer, they drop more HP. But still, it feels kind of silly that they give us something that can that can destroy shields, and then give us enemies one of the few enemies who actually use shields, upgrade them so their shields cannot be destroyed, and then just dump them all over us. I mean, to me, that's silly. So, moving on. Oh, right, the stone imps. The stone imps are just regular imps. They just kind of roll up into balls and go and do the Indiana Jones thing into your face, and that's it. So, moving on, but staying on the subject of the hammer, as I mentioned at the beginning, the hammer, which is arguably the coolest weapon in the DLCs, requires ammo. I know it's easier to acquire. You just shoot off some weak spots or whatever the hell it is. I think that's how you do it. But it's still a melee weapon that requires ammo. It's stupid. But anyway, I will give them praise. You know, credit where credit is due. The ammo is much easier to get than the Crucible's weapon. Crucible's ammo, sorry. But it's still silly as hell. And finally, you still don't have a giant robot. I don't know why the devs are so afraid to give us a giant robot. I mean, at the end you have this big Avengers-style invasion scene, and there are just giant robots everywhere. Let us pilot one, Bethesda. Just one for like 5 minutes. It's all right there. They're all right there. You can see them. But no, you go on foot, because Doomslayer is a fucking idiot and doesn't appreciate the joy of piloting a giant fucking robot to kill demons with. Has to be, you know, fists and whatever weapons he can carry in his oversized arms. Well, so to summarize, on the pros, you have more demons. The hammer still requires ammo, but it's easier to acquire. And there's a half-decent plot twist, however basic it may be. In the neutral part, Part 1 has more demons per horde than the base game. Part 2 has fewer demons per horde than the base game. And the cons, you have the Spirit, which requires a specific mod of a specific weapon to kill it. You have more enemies that require an opening before you can kill them, very annoying. You have artificial difficulty in some areas. Some enemies are just reskins or upgrades, if you prefer, of previous enemies. A melee weapon that still requires ammo, however easy to acquire it may be. And still no giant robots. Still. Overall, I would give Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods Parts 1 and 2 a final score of 8 out of 10. I feel like the insistence on a melee weapon requiring ammo, the enemies that require an opening before you can kill them, and the artificial difficulty are really just really bad for the game. Anyway, that is my opinion. That's my review for Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods Parts 1 and 2. Again, I would like to apologize for the massive delay. But, as always, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again next time.